Hello, my name is Laura Martinez, and today I want to share a story with you that I encountered about explicit bias when I was a child. So, I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and I attended elementary school there. So, when I was 8 years old, I remember walking into my classroom as usual. I remember sitting down, and through the speakers, I heard that they were going to be having an audition for all the students that wanted to learn how to play an instrument. As far as I could remember, I loved anything that had to do with music. I didn't know how to play any instruments when I was a child, but I loved singing. So this was something that really caught my attention. And I remember that the day came. It was a very nice sunny day. I walked into the auditorium. It was a very big auditorium. It almost looked like an antique theater. And the first thing that I noticed was there was a line of a lot of students. And I walked up to one of the students, one of the last ones on the line, and I asked him, "Oh, are you here to audition for an instrument?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." So I remember looking over to the front, and the instructor was on the left hand bottom side of the stage, sitting down in a black piano. And students, as they were going up, as it was their turn, she would play some notes and ask them some questions, and then the students would move on to something else. Well, finally, it was my turn. It was my turn, and I was really excited. And I remember that I walked up to that piano, and the teacher stood up and she walked over right in front of me, and she said, "What instrument would you like to learn?" And I said, "I want to learn how to play the violin." And she said, "Okay, let me see your fingers." And the first thing I thought was, what does my fingers have to do with it? So, I was 8 years old. So I extended my hands out like this and I showed her my fingers. And she just looked over down at them just for a very few seconds, and she said, "No." She said, "You cannot play the violin because your fingers are too chunky." I remember that as soon as she said that, I kind of just tucked my fingers in because I felt ashamed. And after she said that, she didn't ask me anything else. She just kind of looked up over me and she said, "Next." And she called up the other student. I remember I felt terrible. I used to walk home every single day, and the whole way home, I was just thinking, why are my fingers chunky? Why are my fingers ugly? And I was just really sad, and I was kind of traumatized after that incident. I remember even as an adult, I really held back from learning any instruments because of the words that instructor had told me when I was 8 years old. It's very shameful how somebody can have an opinion about you without even giving you a chance to demonstrate them that you can be good at something. This instructor judged me because of my appearance of my fingers, and because of that, she thought I had no ability to even learn how to play a piano because of my hands. And honestly, because of her words, I grew up resentfully just thinking that my fingers were ugly and that I couldn't learn anything. But now I'm glad that I am over that and that I've lived past that, because about 3 years ago, I actually learned how to play a piano. And I stopped, not because of my fingers, but because it was a little hard for me to remember the notes and the different scales. But nevertheless, I was proud of myself because I was able to look past the words that the instructor had told me, and I was able to learn an instrument. So I wanted to share this story with you because sometimes explicit bias can look in the smallest things, even as far as a teacher judging because of your fingers or because of where you come from or just anything else. And I know that the teacher did this intentionally because she knew what she was telling me. She knew that she was having an opinion about me because of my fingers, and her opinion really haunted me for many years after that. But I am glad that now I know what explicit bias means, and I know better to give a child a chance of what they can do and what they are capable of, because none of us have the none of us have that privilege to tell anybody that they cannot do anything if they really desire it in their heart to do something. So I am glad that I shared this story with you, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.